Hey everybody, Coach Troy here, and today we're going to atomize some androids and bust up some BattleBots in Frenzy. So Frenzy is the sequel to the arcade smash hit Berserk. Everyone knows Berserk, where you are the lone man going through a maze, shooting down different robots trying to take you out, smack-talking robots at that, and getting chased down by an evil, bouncing smiley face. So there were different ports of Berserk to Atari 2600. That was probably one of the biggest ones. And recently Atari has actually come out with updated versions that actually had the voices and whatnot. But there was never a copy of Frenzy that was actually made, except a homebrew by the man, the myth, the legend, Robert Decrescenzo. The man who has done just a ton of awesome homebrew work. And as with a whole bunch of his homebrews, Atari has decided, you know what? These things are worth being sold as actual games. So, he is now getting the credit that he deserves as a game designer. And Frenzy here is one of his more popular ones. Now, when it first came out and being sold on Atari Age, you would actually get a dual cart that had both Berserk and Frenzy for the 7800. Now, right now it's being sold separately. You can get Frenzy or Berserk in a single cart, but don't let Atari know this. But there's actually Berserk on this cart, and you can hack in and play it. I'm going to show you that later after I do the review for this game. Our secret. So like I'm saying, Frenzy is the sequel to Berserk, and it's got a few different upgrades in it. You've got different kinds of robots coming at you. The walls are no longer electrified, so you don't have to worry about bumping into those. You can actually shoot several different styles of the wall and run through the maze and make your escape that way, which is super, super handy. Also good for making little sneak attack pot shots at robots. What does the manual have to say? Let's get into it. Trapped in a bizarre, highly advanced alien maze, you've got to find a way to escape before your Lieutenant Lyra Nova is fried to a crisp. Standard sentry bots and skeletal murder bots stalk you through hundreds of cells as you run for your life. Face your enemies and fire, or be destroyed by their fatal touch. And watch out for the grinning, crazy Otto, Evil Otto's cousin, who can only be stopped temporarily. Charge your phase pistol and enter the fray in this Atari 7800 Plus version of the arcade sequel to Berserk. It's Frenzy. Now going through the manual here, it's actually pretty packed with instructions. Lots of different lore in there, which is pretty cool. I love when they add a good story. Atari's always got good stories for their games. Lots of pictures showing off different stuff. And of course scoring, game mods, and some helpful hints. And not a whole lot of helpful hints. It doesn't look like they want you to be too successful. But how does it look in play? Well, let's get to the game. And here we go. We got 3 different modes, just single player, dual player, and cooperative. If you had a buddy to play cooperative, I think that's actually a pretty awesome way to go. But sadly, it's just me here. And you'll notice the sound. Nothing too amazing there, just little blips and beeps. We're still stuck with that old chip in the Atari, so nothing amazing for sound here. But it's not bad. It gets the job done. Graphics are pretty simple, but definitely in the spirit of the arcade game. The skeletal murder bots definitely look like skeletons, and the sentry bots, at least there's a couple different kinds there. Looking at Lieutenant Nova there, she doesn't exactly look any different from your character in Berserk. This is not Samus Aran here for sure. And Crazy Otto, definitely got that creepy look on his face. Controls are pretty good. You do move around, fairly nicely. You're a little bit slower than I think you are in Berserk. But you can fire at different angles, different directions. No problems there. Now you got to be a little bit careful because you're a bit of a larger target. You can only fire from the middle of your body there, so it leaves the lower half, and the top of your head pretty open for shots from different bots. And of course, there's some walls where your bullets are going to bounce back at you, so be careful. I have killed myself many times. If you do get the hang of it, though, you can use those bounces to take out bots at different angles. Super helpful. You can also actually stun Crazy Otto here by shooting him. You can take him out, and then he'll just reappear a little bit later. If you do take out all the bots when Crazy Otto's there, he does speed up and come at you a little bit crazy-like. Now, all the walls that are kind of made up of little dots you can shoot out. You can make little areas there to try to take out the robots with. Or you can use them to escape and flee if you're in trouble. Lives are at the bottom of the screen, and every 3,000 points you will get an extra life. Also in the game, there are some special rooms. I think every 5th room you get into, there's going to be some kind of special room. There's the power plant, central computer, robot factory, and big auto. They have different effects when you're playing. Like if you shoot the central computer, it'll cause all robots to move and fire erratically. The power plant's going to make them stop moving. And big auto, I'm not going to exactly say anything about him, but if you're ever in his room, I dare you to take out crazy auto and see what happens. So there we go, that is Frenzy. Pretty much he's going to be running around shooting up robots left and right, trying to get a high score, and just plain old surviving. It's not the most in-depth, but the fact that they do have those 4 special rooms is pretty neat. I like the fact that you can shoot out those walls, get different angles on there, so you can really practice your shooting and get different little strategies there. I never actually played the arcade version of Frenzy, so I don't know how accurate it is, but I do think that it's a nice step up from Berserk. You can definitely tell what we're adding there. That being said, I do like the game. It is fun. I might get a little bit repetitive. I don't know how much longevity this game has, but if you just want to sit down and shoot some stuff, it is a fantastic game for that. The sound isn't too amazing, but, it's functional, so that's typical Atari 7800. Not as offensive as some games are, though. The graphics are simple, but they do the job, and it controls quite nicely. The control, probably the most important part of any game. This game is solid. So yeah, I do like Frenzy. It's not going to be my first pick of all the 7800 games, but it's definitely one I wouldn't mind holding on to. If you like shooting robots, then yeah, I'd say go for it. But now, here's secret time. As I was saying before, this used to be sold together with Berserk as a combo pack, both games on the cartridge. Now they're being sold separate, but I actually saw in another video, if you hit the buttons right on your Atari here, you can activate Berzerk. That video is going to be linked down below if you want to check that one out. I got to give that man credit. Check out his videos. He's pretty fun. Also, a thank you to Mr. Chickens, who put in the comment section exactly how to do it. Apparently, he found out on Atari Age. Of course, Atari Age. Those guys there, they know what they're doing. But anyway, they kind of figured out exactly what you got to do. And I'm going to show that to you right now. So when you load up the game, before you play it, all you're going to do is hit Game Select on your console there. You're going to just cycle through and go to the game style that you want that way. So if you want to just do single player, you got to go all the way through and then hit the game reset button. And then when you start, look at that. We got Berserk. And yeah, it is the full game of Berserk here. It is the 7800 version of Berserk, also, of course, done by Robert Decrescenzo. Why do I always got to say his name like that? I don't know why. He's just got a name that you got to say, Robert Decrescenzo. Probably not even pronouncing it right. Anyway, yeah, but you've got Berserk here, and it's a fantastic version of it. You've got the voices, you've got the smack-talking robots, you've got Evil Otto there. It is, yeah, this is fun. I like this version. I think it plays a little bit faster than Frenzy 2. And if you want something a little different for running around, firing, and taking out different robots, it's another great game. Highly recommended, super fun. Graphics are nicer, simple, but they do the job. Sound is alright, nothing too offensive. And gameplay, though, that's where we're solid here. It controls very, very nicely. So there we go. Now knowing that that is bundled in there, I feel a lot better about paying the price I did for the game here. Now if it was just going to be the one, I'd say maybe it's a little too much. But knowing that Berserk is in there as well, now I'm a happy camper. But again, don't tell Atari that I'm sharing this with you. They're going to boycott me or something. I don't want to... If I suddenly disappear tomorrow, look to Atari. Definitely on them. So what do you guys think? Do you like this version of Frenzy? What do you like better, Frenzy or Berserk? Any preferences there? Do you think that this would be okay standalone, or does it got to be the 2-game set that actually makes it worth buying? Anyway, thanks for watching with me. This has been Coach Troy. I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for joining me as I start my journey into the world of retro gaming. If you're interested in my other hobbies of fitness or board games, check out my other channel. Anyway, this is Coach Troy. I'll see y'all next time.